Right. What's going on, good people? It's your boy Three Stacks in this thing, baby. Representing Team Kings of Games, and today I'm coming at you guys with an update for my ORCUST list. This is my pure ORCUST list. I did have a three-peat first place undefeated 3 times in a row right before I moved back out to Vegas, so I got to enjoy my last little run before I came out here. But this list is really cool. I like it. It's extremely unorthodox. I'm telling you guys right now, you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. There's probably not gonna be very many in between. The list it works. It's super powerful. I mean, dude, this is how you guys are going to know it's a 3 stacks deck, because you're going to look at it and be like, this does not work. This list is trash. This deck is bricky. This deck is terrible. This is not an ORCUST list. Dude, I ain't never lost no ORCUST mirror match, bro. Like, sincerely. I feel like I've probably only played like maybe 19 or 20 like ORCUST mirror matches. Like, I can count how many, and this deck's been out since like Soul Fusion. But either way, man. It's something about this deck, man. This is one of my favorite decks. Like, this is probably my 3rd favorite archetype of all time. I love ORCUST. They're super duper cool. I will show you guys my list. I'm going to get into it, explain my card choices as we go along. Just keep in mind, even though the list is weird and it might not work for you, what works for me is not going to work for you. And that's just how life is, you know? And luckily, that's why we have over 10,000 Yu-Gi-Oh cards for you guys to experiment with. So let's hop into the ORCUST list. So we have 3 Nightmares. I've been playing Nightmare at 3 literally since she came out in Savage Strike, bro. I've always told people, like, this card is the equivalent of having a Harper in your hand. Dang near. I mean, with Mermaid being banned now, you have to take the steps a little different. So you have to start with Harp this time. You don't just get to start with Nightmare, and then Nightmare is just going to make everything okay. Like, you have to start your combo with Harp if you want to go full combo correctly and comfortably. If you want to do it incorrect and uncomfortable and doing some, like, unorthodox, weird, niche manner, do you? But starting with Harp is correct. But still, either way, opening with either Harp or Nightmare is just insane in this deck. Because now with Mermaid being banned, it's extremely imperative to actually open the ORCUST cards. Isn't that funny? The ban list made this deck playable. Well, the ban list didn't leave this deck unplayable, but it left it to where the only option people had was to play the deck the way it was supposed to be played in the first place, which is a pure ORCUST deck. And I think that's pretty funny. So now, where people were saying too many ORCUST cards are bad, now they're saying it's a good thing. It's so funny. It's opposite day. So we have 2 Skeletors. Skeletor is insane. I was playing it at 3, and I was playing 3 Bombard. The first time I went undefeated with this, it was 3 of every single one of them. It's 3 Bombards, 3 Nightmares, 3 Harps, 3 Skeleton, and it was triple wand. That list was gas. I really didn't have any problems with it, except for just it didn't have enough draw power for me to see my side deck cards games 2 and 3. Because the deck had 0 problems with going full combo. Like, if I didn't go full combo, I got hand trapped too many times, or I was going second and they had too many negates. But like, it was super duper consistent. I only cut it some of the ORCUST cards just to make room for draw power, so that my games 2 and 3 can be a bit more solidified. So I have a higher ceiling and a greater probability of seeing my side deck cards, which naturally raise my ceiling. Because if I sided for that matchup, obviously the cards I side are going to have an impact on the game state and pretty much dictate the outcome of it. But we do play also double World Wand. World Wand is actually really nuts in this deck. Personally, if I had a Gizmek, it would just be Wand, Gizmek, and Orbital Hydrolander. Like, that would be my lineup for the target. Because really, these are all really good targets off either Crescendo or for ORCUST Nightmare. Personally, I feel that Wand and Gizmek are better as you know, just better Nightmare targets. But this is like one of the perfect Crescendo targets. Another card that's really, really nice that ORCUST players should just consider as a one-of is just Jinzo. I side deck the one Jinzo now. It really, really helps out a lot. Especially because Crescendo can search it on your opponent's turn, which means they're getting ready for that body. So yeah, these are really nice cards. They help you out a lot in the long run, and having multiples is extremely imperative when we get deeper into the contents of my deck. So yeah, that's for the ORCUST monsters that I think I'm going to keep the ORCUST cards laid out, though, because there's some more ORCUST stuff that's going to go here, and I want to kind of keep it organized, so you guys can see just how much of an ORCUST deck that it really is, which I enjoy personally. I feel that if you guys saw one of my other ORCUST deck profiles, I was talking about in it how, like, pure ORCUST is really, really powerful. It's extremely slept on because so many people were splashing it, and now they're getting to see it. It's really, really strong. Like, this deck is crazy. So you guys are going to see the reason why this deck's so strong is because of the ORCUST cards. Every card with ORCUST in its name is insane. So we have 3 Orchestrated Returns, one of the best starter cards in this deck. Arguably the best starter card, just because it's not only hand trap bait and perfect ash bait, but it also can set you up for full combo in the process of forcing out an interruption. Because they're either going to let you draw those 2 cards and then negate the harp, or they're going to stop you from drawing those 2 cards and then try to deal with the heart, but it's just way too strong. Opening with this and a good target like Harper Nightmare forces your opponent to have 2 hand traps off the rip, or you're going to be able to play. So really, really nice. Another ORCUST card that literally I've seen no one playing, and I think this card's insane. I feel like people should have been playing it, and no matter how hard I preach on it, telling people, you know, you get all these, like, I try to preach it to pro players. Oh, I know what I'm doing, you know, I got this, I've been playing, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, you guys should really try this card out. No one wanted to believe me. Well, repeat. 3 times in a row, undefeated, won every ORCUST mirror match. And really, I won almost all of them just due to this card, helping me to outgrind them. Because, like, they opened way better than me. And honestly, they were going to out-resource me in the long run. But because I had this at 3, and I literally hard drew it. Like, it just kept me to where I was able to play exactly as fast as they were. Like, we were both resolving the same amount of ORCUST every turn. Like, he was resolving Nightmare, Harp, Skeleton. I was resolving Nightmare, Harp, Skeleton. Like, that's, I mean, we were playing on equal, on an equal tempo. Ultimately, after that, it came down to our technical play, decision-making, and which one of us was just a better strategist. More ORCUST cards. We play the Babel. I was playing 2 in the other list, not the one that got undefeated the first time, but the one that got undefeated the second time. I was playing 2 Babels because I hated banishing it off Trishbania and Zeroboros and it getting Cosmic Cyclone. So I was just playing 2 for so long, and I just cut it back down. It really, I wasn't playing 2 because I needed to see it. It's just like I hated that it was banished and I couldn't get it back. And it really is that important to me. Babel, for me personally, is the best ORCUST, like the ORCUST card in general in the deck. It just does everything. And then I also play Triple Crescendo. I know this may catch you off guard. Some people may think it's too much. Some may say it's overkill. They may say it's bricky. To each his own, you know. To each his own. I also play 1 copy of Core. I will say though, Crescendo is pretty insane in its own deck. When you play 3 of it, it's intended. And I have very good reasons for playing my 3 Crescendos. You'll get there in the deck before. I have my reasons, you guys. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this list. Test it for yourself. It's crazy. Then we play 1 Core, another one of the cards that the ORCUST players are really sleeping on. This card solves my issue where I only had 1 Dingirsu. What I was doing for the grind games and my mirror matches is I was using Orchestrated Core to constantly banish Dingirsu from my graveyard, banish Galateas. Like, I burned out all 3 Galateas. I ended up using Core to banish a Galatea to target my Babel to protect it, and on my standby, come back around, I use Core to banish a Dingirsu, target my Babel again, and then protect it. Then I use Longirsu to put them both back, and then resummon. So it like literally let me recycle my extra deck while protecting my entire board from targeting, which is really nice. Not entire, but whatever you pick. So when you have Dingirsu and you have Core, you can make anything you want unable to be pretty much interacted with nearly, unless it's the mirror. And if it's the mirror, that's where skill comes into play. So yeah, Triple Crescendo, amazing. Core, insane card to grind. Now, these are all the ORCUST cards. Everything else that's left in my deck is literally either starters that get you instant access to the ORCUST, or it's draw power. So literally my deck, my 60 card deck, is comprised of ORCUST cards, draw power, and starters that get to the ORCUST. And when I say starters that get to the ORCUST, I mean they literally get straight to them. I'll show you guys. So that's it for all the ORCUST cards. This is the best card in the entire deck. I would never cut it down to any less than 3. This card's insane. Yeah, like nobody was winning mirror matches. Like, this card's nuts. And in fact, one of the people I played was like, "Oh, I definitely want to start playing that now after this." And I was like, "Bro, like this card's nuts." It really is. Einsatz. So now that you guys have seen the ORCUST cards in the deck, you guys get to see now the one card starters pretty much just get you instant access. Like I said, math petitions, superior to Scrap Recycler. So I play 3 math and 2 recyclers. I still play the Greffer and the Arma, and I also play the Rhoda. So continuing though, this still isn't enough, even though it's consistent and it's 8 1-card combos. I played some foolishness. I played 1 Foolish Burial, which is just like Rhoda essentially, and like Math Man. You're dumping just with 1 less monster on the board, but still Foolish is insane utility. It's always gonna let you play through a hand trap. Like you can normal Math Man, it gets ashed. Foolish Burial, same thing's gonna happen. And then this is. Yeah, this is lit. Like, this is the best tech in this deck. You guys, this dude really tried to steal my tech too. Like, bros really tried to do me like that. Like, okay, so like, this card right here, what it does in this deck. So, Foolish Burial Goods, this is another reason why I love playing the 3 Crescendos. Even though before I started playing this card, I was always playing the 3 Crescendo. Is because opening with this, now with the 3 Crescendos, this becomes a card that gets instant access to the ORCUST. Because if you read Crescendo, you don't actually have to wait a turn that it was sent to the graveyard. You can banish it immediately the same turn it was sent. You just can't use both effects. So one of your ideal openings, for example, is like Foolish Burial Goods plus Orchestrated Einset, right? Orchestrated Einset, that's a 2-card combo. Or let's say you activate Goods and you dump Crescendo, banish it, and they Ash Blossom. They're going to, if they have an Ash, they will 10 times out of 10 banish it. They will Ash it. Why? Because literally no Orcust player starts their combo up by Foolish Burial Goods the Crescendo. Just the fact you started up that way, it makes it look like you have a bad hand and there's only one way you could do it. So when they Ash that, then you could just normal Recycler, do whatever you want. But this card's baiting interruptions, it's baiting hand traps, it's letting you go full combo, it makes your deck more consistent, it lets you see your engine cards that you need, it gets you to your Orcust as fast as possible. It lets you outgrind the pure mirror matches. The card is just insane. I would never play less than 3. Foolish Burial Goods should never not be played in Orcust. And hopefully I'll be the boy to put it on the map. You know what I'm saying? 1-1-for-1. Again, just like I said, they all get instant access to the Orcust. So you have the monsters that pretty much can dump them on summon and trigger their effects in grave. And then you have these cards that just get you straight up access to either the Orcust themselves, which is going to be either putting them on field or put them in grave, or they're going to give you cards that get you to the Orcust, like Rhoda, for example. And 1-for-1's for the Bombard. But sometimes you just need to make Galatea. It's not always about going full combo. As an Orcust player, you'd be surprised how much you can accomplish just by link summoning for 1 Galatea. It's crazy. Like she's your whole engine. You resolve her effect. You can set. Do you guys see what I can get? She gives me what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different options. I have 5 different options for, you know, my Galatea. So it's pretty flexible. There's a lot of things you can do with just 1 Galatea. So really for me, I don't always have to go full combo. The deck's really all just about getting a Galatea established. And once you summon her, the remainders of the Orcust get summoned by utilizing her as material. So again, the Orcust cards, and then the cards get access to them. So you guys see how the deck's organized like that for a reason. So that you guys can understand the layers of the deck. You guys can see transparently how consistent the deck is, and my theories, and also my thought process and logic behind it. Because really, I wanted to make the deck more consistent, but I did not want to play hand traps. And also the draw power that I wanted to incorporate it. I wanted it to be draw power that was going to be live nearly every single time I drew it. So there's just like a lot of sacrificing that had to be done to get this deck to get where it is, and I'm very happy with how it's been performing because the deck's crazy good. We have 3 copies of Bigfoot. I still think that you should play Dangers in Orcust, even if you don't like the Dangers or you're just against it. I feel that there's no Orcust list that shouldn't be playing Dangers, because these are your extenders. These let you get Orcust into your graveyard, they let you draw cards, put free bodies on the board, they play through Nibiru, they let you OTK out of nowhere, they let you break Pendulum boards, they let you break Thunder boards. They literally make and break boards. These cards are way too good to not play. I play the 3 Ogos. There's a reason why I'm playing the level 8s. It's because I wanted to play trade-in, but I wanted to make sure that I had over 10 targets, and I have 12 trade-in targets. And on top of that, the Foolish Burial Goods searches them out. So really, I have like 15 of them, and you have the draw power. So that's why I played the level 8 Dangers and not the a lot of the other ones. I still play Nessie because she's both a level 7 and can turn herself into a level 8 by searching these out, which is valid because she's a target for another one of my draw power cards, which you'll see in a second. And then the Lonely Such that I still have. Honestly, if this was the Jackalope, I would just play the Jackalope, but I don't have Jackalope, and I only have 1 Such. So yeah, it kind of sucks. And now for the draw power. Yeah, I know it's weird. You guys are seeing Pot of Desires in Orcust. Trust me, I know. Even when I tried to explain it to some of my friends and telling them, everybody was discouraging me, telling me, no, it's not worth it, don't do it. It's inconsistent. It's going to screw your engine up. You're going to banish all your combo pieces, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, dude, how do you know, like for me personally, how do you know if something works or not if you haven't even tried it? So if you haven't even tried Desires out in Orcust, who are you to tell me that it doesn't work? So I ended up trying it out, and it's insane. It's like 10 times better than anyone told me it would ever be in Orcust. So I don't even understand why people are not playing it. Not only can you get all of your combo pieces out of your deck first before even resolving Desires, the other thing is that nearly all of them are at multiples, nearly all of them are at 3, and you only need like 1 of each of them to play. Like literally, you only need 1 Orcust of each to play the deck. Like it's crazy, you guys. Pot of Desires, yeah, great surprise factor, really good card. Insane pressure that you can pretty much put onto the board. And again, helping you see your side deck cards, which is my main issue. Games 2 and 3, my gameplay and my technical play never really was deterring. It was just that I never saw my side deck cards, and when I really needed them the most, I never got to see them. So that's why I changed my list for the better. I'll continue with the draw power. This was displayed earlier in the deck profile, but it also still counts towards my draw power. The reason why it's right below Pot of Desires is because similar to Pot of Desires, this card is, in terms of card economy, the marginal value, really, it retains all of its value. It's like a +1. If you pitch Harper and draw 2, you win +1 because Harper is going to get you advantage. And then we have three Allure of Darkness. Now this, like the trade-ins and other cards, you need a valid target, but I felt like my cards that I played valid targets at, if I was going to play them at 3, I was going to play more than 10 of their targets. Which, Allure, yeah, that's nearly my whole deck. And for the trade-ins, you guys know I play enough trade-in targets. If Blue Eyes can play 7 trade-in targets and get away with it, I can definitely play my 15 trade-in targets and be alright. And I tested this enough. Like the trade-in and also the 7 Sacred Swords are really, really good in this deck. You've got plenty of valid targets for each of these, and they're searchable, and it fixes the major problem that my deck used to have, and it no longer has that, was I just couldn't draw into my combo pieces. And you guys would be surprised, this draw power baits out interruptions, trade-in forces out Ash Blossoms, Pot of Desires forces out Ash Blossom, this forces out negates. You guys would be surprised, draw cards are really powerful. Your opponent doesn't want you to draw better cards, and they don't want you to +1. They don't want you to turn 1 card into 2, so they want to negate cards like Desires. They want to negate cards like, you know, Return. They want you to go -1 with trade-in. Why is that good, 3 stacks? Because now if your opponent's burning hand traps on draw cards, if your hand was already playable, like let's say you drew trade-in, some draw cards, and a Math Man, and they Ash Blossomed your trade-in, you just normal math. They don't have Valor, that's full combo, which is really nice. So yeah, your deck plays, well, my deck plays the 14 draw cards to help me out. But also, I really feel like I play more than 14 draw cards because of all my danger monsters as well. So I feel like half of my deck, if you do the math correctly, nearly half my deck, it should be 27 cards in my deck draw cards. That's 27. So that's, you got 33 other cards that don't do that. But nearly half of my entire deck just draws. Just really clutch for me personally. That's one of the main reasons why I feel this deck has performed so well. I mean this deck... Brother, we cutting up. I'm just saying, we breaking pendulum boards. We letting people go full combo. We're letting Thunder Dragon players play solitaire, bro, and we're just cracking the boards wide open. Like ORCUST art. This deck is insane, you guys. We have 3 copies of Galatea. Like I said, remember how important this card is. You don't always have to full combo, but if you don't summon her, there's something that you're doing incorrectly. We have 1 Longirsu. We have 1 Orcustron. If you don't play Orcustron, you're not an ORCUST player. My same 1 Dingirsu I've been rocking with. I've been figuring out ways to make the deck work even with 1 Ding. Just, you know, like I was telling you guys about the core, and I feel like that was almost like a big brain play because I was like, dang, I didn't realize you could do that. Like, you could really use Orchestrated Core to recycle your whole extra deck, which is really cool. We play Topologics, we play Trishbania, Bomber, and Zerboros, the best one of them all. Definitely. It's literally Bomber and Topologic Trishbania in one. Zerboros is so nasty. We have the 1 Link Kribo, we have Phoenix, Unicorn, and for the really saucy hands, when you've got just nothing but gas, you go for Curios. You make Curios first, then you resolve all your draw cards, then you resolve your ORCUST combo. Because the point of Curios is to make it look like I am committing so much resources for this play that if this does not go through, I won't have anything else to follow up with. That's why I like starting with him when my hand's good enough, because this is always going to be hand trap. And if they don't hand trap to me, I play a little bit less cautiously just because I feel that if they had the hand trap, they would have used it on the Curios. If it doesn't get stopped, though, it is full ORCUST combo as well by itself because it's a Link 3 that's basically just Mathematician and has a higher ceiling than it because it has a potential of milling extra ORCUST cards off of its effect. So it's worth playing. The Boros, Load, and Sword. Now, honestly, your Thunder matchup's pretty insane. Long can send, Ding can send, Unicorn can shuffle, and Borload can take. So really, you're not really worried about Thunder specifically. Like, honestly, you don't have to play Borload just because you already have removal that doesn't target or destroyed. But it's the body, the attack, and the protection that makes Borload still worth it. So that's pretty much the extra deck, you guys. The only card I want to tell you guys about in my side deck is Jinzo. I side deck 1 Jinzo, and then 3 Eradicators. There, I'll tell you guys about 4 cards in my side deck. I'm not sharing anything else until the next event that I top with this deck. And until then, I'm keeping everything under wraps. Because this spice, me sharing it, I didn't even want to share it, bro. But I really just, I felt that you guys deserve this information, you know, and you guys deserve to see this outlook and get this different perspective on ORCUST. So thank you guys so much for watching my video. God bless you guys. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Don't play 13 million hand traps. And definitely you guys have a beautiful day. Peace.